There's a kind of tiredness nobody talks about. It's not the tiredness after a long day. It's the tiredness of pretending. The tiredness of waiting for something to change. The tiredness of trying so hard to be okay. When deep inside, you're falling apart. You smile when you don't feel like smiling. You say I'm fine when nothing is fine. You keep showing up, keep pushing forward, keep doing what you're supposed to do. But somewhere along the way, you lost something. You don't even know what it is. You just know it's gone, and now you're here. Exhausted, not from working too hard, but from carrying too much, from holding it all together for so long that you've forgotten what it feels like to let go. Maybe you're watching this late at night. Maybe everyone else is asleep and you're alone with your thoughts. Or maybe it's the middle of the day and you're surrounded by people, yet you've never felt more alone. Either way, something brought you here. Something inside you recognized this title and whispered, "Yes, that's exactly how I feel." 8 centuries ago, a poet named Rumi understood this exhaustion, not because he read about it in books, not because someone explained it to him, because he lived it. He breathed it. He nearly drowned in it before he learned how to swim. Before Rumi became the voice of the wounded soul. He was a respected scholar. He had everything society told him to want. Status, recognition, students who hung on his every word, a life that looked perfect from the outside. People admired him. They sought his counsel. They believed he had all the answers. But inside, there was an emptiness he couldn't name, a hunger that knowledge couldn't feed, a thirst that success couldn't quench. He kept teaching, kept performing, kept being what everyone expected him to be, and every single day, a little piece of him disappeared. Have you ever felt that? The slow vanishing of yourself. Not all at once, but gradually, like water evaporating from a glass. You don't notice it happening. You're too busy living, too busy surviving, too busy being everything to everyone. And then one day you look inside and realize there's almost nothing left. This is the cruelest kind of exhaustion, because nobody sees it, nobody validates it. You can't point to it and say, "Look, this is why I'm tired." It doesn't show up on medical tests. It doesn't leave visible scars. It just sits there, heavy and invisible, pressing down on your chest every single morning when you open your eyes. This is the exhaustion that doesn't come from doing. It comes from being someone you're not. It comes from fighting a war that was never yours to fight. It comes from building a life based on everyone else's blueprints, while your own dreams gathered dust in the corner of your heart. How many years have you spent constructing a life that doesn't feel like yours? How many decisions have you made based on what others would think? How many times have you silenced your own voice because it was easier to just go along? Rumi wrote, "Why do you stay in prison when the door is so wide open?" When I first read that line, it confused me. What prison? I'm free. I can go wherever I want. I can do whatever I choose. But then I understood, the prison isn't made of iron bars. It's made of something far stronger. Here's what nobody tells you about that prison. You don't even know you're in it. The bars are invisible. The walls are made of expectations. The lock is your own fear of disappointing others. And the cruelest part, you built most of it yourself. You built it every time you said yes when you meant no. Every time you silenced your own needs to make room for someone else's. Every time you chose comfort over truth. Every time you told yourself maybe tomorrow and let another piece of your life slip away. You built it every time you stayed in a conversation that drained you because you didn't want to seem rude. Every time you laughed at a joke that wasn't funny because you wanted to fit in. Every time you agreed with something you didn't believe because disagreeing felt too risky. Brick by brick, day by day, year by year, until one morning you wake up and realize you're trapped inside a life that doesn't feel like yours. A life you designed for someone else's approval. A life that looks successful on the outside, but feels like suffocation on the inside. Now you're tired. So deeply, impossibly tired. But here's what Rumi discovered in his own exhaustion. Here's the secret that changed everything for him. The secret that might change everything for you too. The tiredness is not your enemy. The tiredness is a messenger. Read that again. Let it sink in. The tiredness is not your enemy. It's not a problem to be solved. It's not a weakness to be overcome. It's not a flaw in your character or a sign that you're broken. It's your soul sending you a message, knocking on the door of your consciousness, trying to get your attention because you've been ignoring it for so long. The tiredness is telling you that something is wrong, that the path you're walking doesn't belong to you, that the mask you're wearing is suffocating the person underneath. The exhaustion is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of awakening. It's the first crack in the wall you've built around yourself. Think about it. Really think about it. When do you feel most tired? Not after doing things you love. You can do those for hours and feel more alive than ever. You lose track of time. You forget to eat. You look up and suddenly it's midnight and you don't even care. But you feel tired after doing things that drain you, things that go against your nature, things that require you to betray yourself in small, invisible ways, things that demand you show up as someone other than who you really are. Every act of self-betrayal costs energy. Every time you abandon yourself to please someone else, you pay a price. Every time you swallow your truth to keep the peace, a part of you dies. And that price accumulates, day after day, week after week, year after year, until one morning you wake up and realize you have nothing left to give. You've been running on empty for so long that empty has become your normal. You've forgotten what it feels like to be full. You've forgotten what it feels like to wake up excited. You've forgotten what it feels like to be yourself without apology. Rumi reached that point. The great scholar, the respected teacher, the man who seemed to have it all. He reached the moment where he simply couldn't pretend anymore, where the weight of his false life became heavier than his fear of change, where continuing felt more terrifying than stopping, and that's when his real life began. You see, exhaustion is often the doorway to transformation, but only if you listen to it, only if you stop treating it as a problem to solve and start seeing it as a message to receive, only if you have the courage to ask, what is this tiredness trying to tell me? What is your tiredness trying to tell you? Sit with that question. Don't rush to answer it. Don't intellectualize it. Just feel it. Let it move through you like a wave. Maybe it's telling you that the relationship you're fighting to save has been over for years, that you're holding on to a ghost because you're afraid of being alone, that the love you're waiting for isn't coming back because it was never really there. Maybe it's telling you that the job you're clinging to is slowly killing your spirit, that the security it offers isn't worth the price you're paying, that you've traded your dreams for a steady paycheck, and the exchange is bankrupting your soul. Maybe it's telling you that the version of yourself you've been performing has nothing to do with who you actually are, that you've been wearing a mask for so long you've forgotten the face underneath, that the person everyone knows isn't really you at all. Rumi said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Your exhaustion is a wound. I know that's not what you want to hear. You want solutions. You want steps. You want someone to tell you exactly what to do so you can fix this and move on. But wounds are not just endings. They are also openings. They break the surface. They create space for something new to enter. The question is, will you keep covering it up? Or will you finally let it breathe? Most people choose to cover it up. They drink more coffee. They scroll more. They stay busier. They find new distractions, new numbing agents, new ways to avoid the silence. They do anything to avoid sitting with the tiredness, because sitting with it means feeling it, and feeling it means admitting that something needs to change. Change is terrifying. Even when your current life is slowly destroying you, at least it's familiar. At least you know how to navigate it. At least you know what to expect. The unknown feels like falling, and nobody wants to fall. But Rumi would tell you something different. He would say that falling is not the end. Falling is the beginning. When you finally stop holding on, when you finally let yourself drop into the uncertainty, that's when you discover you had wings all along. There's a difference between giving up and letting go. Giving up is defeat. It's saying, I'm not enough. It's collapsing under the weight of your circumstances. It's losing hope that things can ever be different. Letting go is wisdom. It's saying this no longer serves me. It's releasing what doesn't belong to you so you can receive what does. It's making space for something new by releasing your grip on something old. You're not tired because you're weak. You're tired because you've been strong for too long. You've been carrying weight that was never yours to carry. You've been running a race that has no finish line. You've been trying to fill a cup that has a hole in the bottom. And now your soul is begging you to stop. Not stop living. Stop pretending. Stop performing. Stop abandoning yourself for people who wouldn't cross the street for you. Stop setting yourself on fire to keep others warm. Stop pouring from an empty cup and wondering why you have nothing left. Rumi found his transformation when he met Shams of Tabriz, a wandering mystic who saw through all of Rumi's masks, who challenged everything Rumi thought he knew, who refused to be impressed by titles or status or reputation. But the meeting with Shams was not the transformation itself. It was the permission. Shams gave Rumi permission to stop being who everyone expected him to be. Permission to feel what he actually felt. permission to question what he'd always accepted, permission to burn down everything he had built and start again from the ashes. You don't need a shams. You don't need someone else to give you permission. You need to become your own permission. Give yourself permission to be tired, to admit that you're struggling, to say I don't have it all figured out, to disappoint people who only love the version of you that serves them, to walk away from tables where there's no seat for your authentic self. This is not selfishness. This is survival. This is the most fundamental act of this is choosing yourself after years of choosing everyone else. Rumi wrote, "Set your life on fire. Seek those who fan your flames." Look at your life right now. Look at the people in it. Look at how you spend your days. Look at what you give your energy to. How much of it fans your flames? How much of it lights you up, energizes you, makes you feel more alive? And how much of it, slowly, quietly, puts them out? How much of it drains you, diminishes you, makes you feel smaller than you are? Your exhaustion knows the answer. It has always known. You've just been too busy, too scared, too committed to the lie to listen that the tiredness you feel is not a malfunction. It's a compass. It's pointing you away from everything that's draining you and toward everything that's waiting to fill you up. It's showing you where the leaks are in your life. It's revealing the cracks in your foundation. But you have to trust it. You have to stop pushing through and start paying attention. You have to treat your exhaustion not as an obstacle, but as an oracle. Not as something to overcome, but as something to understand. What would happen if you stopped trying so hard? Not stopped caring, not stopped moving, but stopped forcing, stopped manipulating life into shapes it doesn't want to take. Stopped swimming against currents that are only trying to carry you home. Rumi discovered that surrender is not weakness. Surrender is the ultimate strength. It takes more courage to let go than to hold on. It takes more bravery to admit you're lost than to keep pretending you know the way. It takes more power to say I need help than to keep struggling alone. You've been trying for so long, fighting for so long, holding on for so long, and look where it's brought you. To this moment, to this exhaustion, to this quiet desperation that hums beneath everything you do. Maybe the trying is the problem. Maybe the answer isn't to try harder. Maybe the answer is to try differently, or to stop trying altogether and start allowing. Allow life to show you the path. Allow yourself to rest without guilt. Allow the things that are meant for you to find you. Rumi said, "What you seek is seeking you." But it can't find you if you're running. It can't reach you if you're hiding behind masks. It can't touch you if you're too busy proving yourself to people who will never see your worth. It can't arrive if there's no space for it, because you've filled every corner with obligations and expectations and other people's needs. Stop running. Stop hiding. Stop proving. To stop. Breathe. Feel the tiredness. All of it. Let it wash over you like a wave. Don't resist it. Don't judge it. Don't try to fix it or explain it or make it go away. Just feel it, and then ask yourself, what am I really tired of? Not the surface answer. Not work or responsibilities or life. The real answer, the one buried beneath years of conditioning. The one your heart whispers when your mind finally gets quiet. The one you've been avoiding because it would require you to change. Maybe you're tired of pretending to be happy. Maybe you're tired of waiting for someone to choose you. Maybe you're tired of being the strong one, the reliable one, the one who always holds it together. Maybe you're tired of a life that looks good but feels empty. Whatever it is, that's your starting point. That's the truth you've been running from. And that truth, as painful as it is the first step toward freedom. Rumi didn't become Rumi by trying harder. He became Rumi by falling apart, by letting his old self die, by surrendering everything he thought he knew and opening himself to everything he had yet to discover, by allowing his exhaustion to break him open so that something new could grow. Your exhaustion is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter. The chapter where you finally stop living for others and start living for yourself. The chapter where you trade the prison of expectations for the freedom of authenticity. The chapter where you stop asking what should I do and start asking what do I need. You've been tired for so long. You've been carrying this weight for so long. You've been pretending for so long. Maybe it's time to put it down. Maybe it's time to stop trying and finally start living. Not the life others expect from you. Not the life that looks good on paper. Not the life that makes sense to everyone else. Your life. The one that's been waiting for you all along. The one your exhaustion has been pointing you toward. The one that begins the moment you finally stop pretending and start being who you actually are. Rumi wrote, "Don't be satisfied with stories, how things have gone with others. Unfold your own myth. Your tiredness is asking you to unfold your own myth, to stop living someone else's story, to stop playing a role in someone else's drama, to finally, after all these years, become the author of your own life. The exhaustion is a message. Are you ready to listen?